Hello, my name is Cole, and welcome to this week's Deep Dive video. I'm excited. This past Sunday, we had the chance to look at belief through Scripture. We looked at first the centurion who approached Jesus about his servant being healed. Then we talked about the woman who had been suffering from bleeding for years and years, and it hadn't gotten better, it had gotten worse with everything she tried to fix it. Then we talked about the death of Jesus' friend Lazarus and how his friends Mary and Martha, the sisters of Lazarus, really struggled, but they still believed Jesus was who he claimed to be, and they still had faith in him, even if things were dark and dire at the time. And we talked briefly about faith for a believer. Faith for a follower of Christ is more than just a believing that something is. It's a belief that changes the way we live our lives. If our lives don't change, the belief's not there. We talked that James says, you say you believe good, even the demons believe and they shudder. So I wanted to go a little deeper into what James has to say about faith. In James chapter 2, starting in verse 14, it says, "What good is it, my brothers, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can such faith save him? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one of you says to them, 'Go in peace, be warmed and filled,' without giving them things they needed for the body, what good is that? So also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead." He goes on to say in verse 18, "But someone will say, 'You have faith and I have works. Show me your faith apart from your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. You believe that God is one, you do well. Even the demons believe and shudder. Do you want to be shown, you foolish person, that faith apart from works is useless? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he offered up his son Isaac on the altar? You see that faith was active along with his works, and faith completed by his works. And the scripture was fulfilled that says, Abraham believed God, and it was counted to him as righteousness. And he was called a friend of God. You see that a person is justified by works and not by faith alone. And in the same way, was not also Rahab the prostitute justified by works when she received the messenger and sent them out by another way? For as the body apart from the spirit is dead, so also faith apart from works is dead." James says that very strongly, and that's because it's important, right? We inherently are selfish creatures. We want things that work for us. And sometimes, even as believers, we see our faith in Jesus Christ as a get out of hell free card. We see it as, I've done my part, I'm good, now I get to coast, now I get to relax, I've made it to the finish line. And that's not the message in Scripture at all. That's not the gospel story at all. In fact, it's the opposite. See, we've made it to Jesus, but that's not the finish line. That's the starting line of the new life in him. When Paul talks about us being a new creation, it doesn't mean that we are a new creation and now we get to sit down and rest, right? We're a brand new creation set apart for a new good work. And if we just sit aside, if we just keep this good news to ourselves and we don't take time to share it, if we don't take time to care for those in need, if we don't take time to further the kingdom in all the different ways that God has equipped us to do, James tells us, do you really even have faith? I mean, can that kind of faith save you, is what James is asking. If you just say to someone who's hurting, hey, I hope you get better, but you don't do anything to help it. James talks about somebody needing food and needing clothes, and you tell them, gosh, I hope that gets better for you. Or even, I'll pray for you. I hope that gets better for you. But you don't do anything to feed them. You don't do anything to take care of that need of helping them get clothes. You've not really done anything. You don't have faith. You've not lived it out. And that's the important distinction for a follower of Christ. It's not just believing something, but it's a belief or a faith that transforms the way you live. And if you really believe it, you can't keep it to yourself. If you really believe it, you can't stand the suffering around you because you've seen all the amazing things that God has done for you and all the amazing things God has done through others in your life. And you can't keep all that to yourself. You want to share that with those around you. You want to help transform the lives of those around you by serving them and sharing Christ with them. I hope this has been a great deep dive. I hope it's really challenged the way you look at your faith and the way you look at your relationship with Jesus. If you have any questions, I'd love to talk with you about them. But again, I hope this helps. Thank you so much for listening. Oh, it says coffee. That's right. Hi, my name is Cole, and welcome to this week's deep dive video. This past week, I had the privilege of speaking on. Hello, and welcome to this week's video. Hello, my name is Cole, and welcome to this week's deep dive video. Hello, my name is Cole. Welcome to this week's deep dive video. Hello, welcome to this week's. Hello, my name is Cole, and welcome to this week's deep dive video. This last Sunday, we first looked at, and I wanted to take a few moments and highlight a little bit deeper. Belief and faith are much deeper than just dive video. Why am I tripping up so bad? It's another sip of coffee. It's a coffee break.